My own son looked me dead in the eye and said, "Dad, it's not your villa anymore. It belongs to my wife's parents now. This is their home now, not yours." Those words didn't just break me. They cut deeper than any knife. Because they came from the boy I raised alone after cancer took his mother. The boy I built an empire for. Before I go on, hit subscribe if you love real-life stories with shocking twists, and tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I read everyone. My name is Michael Anderson. I'm 62 years old, and this is the story of how my only son, my flesh and blood, tried to erase me from my own life. I'm not some spoiled millionaire. I grew up with nothing, worked 16-hour days on construction sites, built my own company brick by brick. Over 40 years, I turned sweat into a business worth millions. And the crown jewel? My villa in the Hamptons. 8,000 square feet overlooking the Atlantic. Built with my own crew back in 1987. That house wasn't just a property. It was a living scrapbook. The place where my wife, Rose, and I hosted Christmas dinners for 30 years. Where my son Ethan took his first steps in the living room. Where we spread Rose's ashes in the garden after cancer stole her from us. Every corner of that home was sacred. Or at least it used to be. December last year, Ethan walks in one evening with a new woman on his arm. "Dad, this is Victoria," he said. Victoria Ashford, 26. Gorgeous, polished, dressed like she walked out of a fashion magazine. And this was her third marriage. "Tommy," she said to me. Not Mr. Anderson, not Dad, just Tommy. Like I was some waiter. "This place has potential." That was her first word about my villa. Not beautiful, not homey, not wow, what a history. Just potential. That should have been my first warning. But Ethan looked at her like she hung the moon. And after raising him alone, after giving him everything, I wanted him happy. So I ignored my gut. Week 1, they moved into my master bedroom. The one Rose and I shared for 4 decades. "You don't mind the guest room, do you, Dad?" Ethan asked. Victoria smiled sweetly, like poison and honey. "It's more appropriate for someone your age." Week 2, the locks were changed. For security. Suddenly I had to knock on the door of my own home. Week 3, Victoria started replacing everything that mattered. "My recliner?" I asked one afternoon. "The chocolate brown leather chair Rose bought me for my 60th birthday. Gone." "Oh, it was so worn out," Victoria said, laughing. "We replaced it with a Versace sofa, $8,000. Classy, right?" Classy. Paid for with my own credit card. That's when I started looking at the bills, January 15th. Tiffany & Co. $23,400. January 22nd, Hermes, $47,000. February 3rd, Bergdorf Goodman, $15,800. February 14th, Daniel Restaurant, $2,300 for 2 people. While they ate lobster in Manhattan, I microwaved a frozen dinner in my own kitchen. They were bleeding me dry. $18,000 a month on my accounts, and they weren't slowing down. But money wasn't the worst part. One night at the country club, I wore my Vietnam veteran cap, a symbol of the 4 years I spent overseas, the Bronze Star I earned, the friends I lost. "Dad, you're embarrassing us," Ethan hissed. "People are staring. They're staring because they respect what it means," I told him. But his face twisted with shame. Not pride, not gratitude, shame. Later, with Victoria's friends around, he laughed when I shared stories of building the company. "Dad, nobody cares about construction anymore. It's boring." Boring? That boring industry paid for Harvard, paid for every luxury he had, paid for the very house he was stealing. That was the moment I realized I wasn't just losing money, I was losing my son. Then one day I opened the safe in my old bedroom, empty Rose's engagement ring, the diamond earrings I bought her for our 25th anniversary, the pearl necklace from Tahiti, all gone. "Where's your mother's jewelry?" I asked Ethan. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "What jewelry?" "Your mother's things, from the safe." "Dad, maybe you forgot. Maybe you misplaced them. You're getting older, you know. Maybe I forgot. Maybe I was confused." That's what they wanted me to think. That I was losing my mind, but I wasn't. That night I smiled to myself. Because I knew something they didn't. I've kept receipts my entire life, every transaction. Every paper, every proof. That's how I built a company that never lost a lawsuit. That's how I survived 40 years in construction. And now I started recording everything. Voice memos, photos, screenshots, Every word, every insult, every purchase, they thought they were burying me. But I was already planning my resurrection. March 13th, 11:47 p.m. I couldn't sleep. The guest mattress they gave me felt like cardboard. Through the thin walls, I heard them talking in what used to be my bedroom. The timeline needs to be accelerated, Victoria said. The old bastard could live another 20 years. The next morning, I packed a small bag. Not because I was leaving, but because the game had officially begun. They thought they had me trapped. They thought age made me weak. They thought greed blinded me, but what they didn't know is this. None of it. Not the house, not the accounts, not even the... If you made it this far, comment. Family doesn't mean betrayal. And don't forget, subscribe for daily revenge stories that hit hard. Turn on the bell because you don't want to miss what happens when they realize the fortune was never theirs to begin with.